As part of the 12th International Harp Festival in Stamford this year, we're interviewing various people who've either participated or attended. And I'm very pleased to interview John Dalton, a well-known harpist, and he's going to tell me a little bit about his work and his career. So, John, perhaps you'd like to tell me what kind of harp you play and what's your special interests?
Well, first I'd like to say how happy I am to be here again at the festival. I've come from, I think, many years, including the first one, and it's always a place of inspiration and wonderful music and great company. Yes, in terms of the harp, I play an electric harp, pure and simple, for jazz and sort of ambient music, which I also play with a rock and roll band. I play a Latin American harp, a Paraguayan, and a Celtic harp. And it's the latter, really, which is the most versatile harp for me, because I do play just about everything on that.
Well, you seem to be a man of many talents, and so you've obviously been playing for a long time and have many varied interests. So do you play full-time, professionally?
I play professionally, yes, and I combine that with talks. I go out as a harpist, playing weddings, restaurants, conferences, parties of all kinds. And also I give talks on the history of the harp, which I illustrate with music from different periods, and also on the mystery of music, where I, again, take the harp and some percussion and wind instruments, and I talk about music from the more esoteric sides. And this involves, for example, looking at how the three main elements of music, the melody, the harmonies and the rhythms, reflect our own thinking processes, our feelings, and our will, our activity. So that music is a picture, if you like, of the human being.
So would you say you're as much interested in the philosophy behind music as well as the actual practical playing?
Yes, I think I am. I've always enjoyed playing music, but the mystery of why certain intervals and certain rhythms affect us in the way they do has always fascinated me.
Do you feel that harp music particularly lends itself to this kind of interpretation?
In a way, yes, because the harp, in my experience, is the most versatile instrument I've encountered. I mean, the piano is a derivation of the harp and is also an instrument on which you can play virtually any kind of music. But the harp itself, the right sort of instrument, can play anything from world music to jazz to experimental to folk music from all around the world. And
do you have a particular favourite yourself?
No, I don't. No, it depends.
An eclectic mixture.
Very eclectic. I love, to be able to go on that instrument from the most down-home sort of grooves and driving rhythms to the most spiritual or cerebral sounds, which, just lift you off into other worlds. And that's what's astonishing about the harp, is that versatility. I play other instruments. I play jazz guitar, I play flute and sax. But in terms of the pie chart of music, which, let's say, encompasses everything from the most experimental to the ancient to the modern, the harp is able to play something from every area, and my other instruments can't do that.
Yeah, so you feel it's particularly versatile and particularly adaptable to all kinds of situations.
Undoubtedly. Partly because it's such a simple instrument. You've got a good range in terms of the octaves. You've got hands on the strings, which you lack on the piano. You can get different tones out of the strings by playing them in different positions. And you get the most gorgeous harmonies coming from a harp because of the way it's strung. So I always say you get more out of the harp than you actually put into it. If you play 3 notes and then stop them and listen, you'll find the whole harp is resonating with overtones and undertones, which give a richness which other instruments don't have. They have other charms.
So what have been your most recent commitments with the harp?
I gave a talk at the Glastonbury Symposium on the mystery of music illustrated with harp. And again, I spoke about the way in which music had been perceived as the world of the divine essence, and how it had descended to earth through the church and is now firmly in the domain of man. And I spoke of how, what was once the heavenly worlds is now a tool of manipulation. I spoke about the Music Corporation, for example.
Sounds very provocative stuff. How was this received?
Oh, very well, very well.
Yes.
I mean, I like to go from the very mystical right down to the matter of fact. The findings in music therapy, the findings of the Music Corporation, who use it unashamedly to make us buy more things and behave in a certain way. And for whom, by the way, silence is a missed selling opportunity.
Ah.
So.
Yes. It is in itself a very provocative statement.
It is, isn't it?
So how would you say that you see the future, either future for yourself or future for harp music in general?
Well, whenever I play live, I meet people, or they come and speak to me, and they say, I've never heard a harp played, in real life before, so close, and it's really wonderful. And with any luck, they buy some of my CDs. And I'm very happy to do that. And to let them realise that the harp has this magical effect, especially when you hear it live, and I would say in an unamplified situation such as a church. It has a magic that is bigger than the instrument. Because, in my view, musical instruments are portals. In the same way that every work of art is a portal through which something spiritual can come. A painting, the pigments dissolve and you go into the world created by the artist. With a musical instrument, it's like a window through which the player can allow music of all kinds to flow in a living way. And that touches people.
Yes.
And the harp is a special window in the, let's say, in the panorama of instruments that we have, from percussion through wind and strings and so on.
So have you recently made some recordings?
Yes, I've made 3. I've done an album of Celtic music, I've done a CD of Latin American, and the latest is with an Irish singer called Laura Tansey. She has a beautiful voice. It's all traditional Irish songs. And we hope to play some engagements in Ireland and in England this year.
Well, we look forward to seeing it at the top of the sales chart on Amazon or something like that.
Well, she has an amazing voice. She was well trained, and she sings Irish music as a speciality. And with the Celtic music, which I love, we always feel, I think, that certain melancholy, which is the Irish way of singing or playing the twilight of the gods, which is that loss of spiritual vision, which is the sadness in that music. It's a remembering of the lost worlds of the divine light.
Well, thank you very much for talking to me today, John. It's been really, really interesting, and we wish you every success in the future and hope to see you at lots more harp festivals.
Well, thank you very much, Jolly. It's really a delight to be here again.
Thank you.
And I look forward to coming to play here again.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.